We'll start with Christina DiNicola.
Yeah, hi, Corey. Christina DiNicola with MLB.com. I guess I'll start with one of the things Adam Duvall, I guess, mentioned the other day was just being able to talk with guys hitting, just how they prepare. And one of the names he brought up was you. If you could just discuss a bit that growing relationship. Did you guys know each other before, and just how it can be beneficial to you all?
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody has knowledge. We all think about things differently. And it's good to be, half glass, glass half full, being willing to learn. And, I played against Duvall coming up all through the minor leagues, of course, in the big leagues. So I've seen him a long time, seen him a lot. He's always been a great ball player. And, one thing for me, I'm really dialed in, to the body. I research the body. I know a lot about it. So the recovery aspect, the preparation to, get ready to perform, that kind of thing. I'm really dialed in on, and I continue to learn, and that's what, I enjoy doing. So a lot of guys on the team pick my brain with that. And, his aspect, I like to, know what he's thinking at the plate, his mechanics, talk about our cage work, things like that. But, it's really right now just trying to, get to know who he is as a person, his family. Seems like an awesome guy so far, and looking forward to get to know him.
And just to follow up, because you mentioned, guys maybe picking up things from you or just talking to, there's a lot of outfield prospects in camp as well. As of now, you, Marte, and Duvall are very experienced veterans with proven track records. How beneficial can that just be for the organization in general, having you guys around for these young, potential guys?
I think it's a sense of comfort of guys don't have to feel that pressure to perform. Just even, I've played long enough now that I don't put pressure on myself, and I trust even the young guys. I trust those guys, to go up there and perform just as well as I go up there and expect to perform. But, to have consistency and to go out there each and every day, to be available for your team is very important. I think having a constant core out there that's been there does give that sigh of relief to the younger guys to not feel like it's all on their back. And, but we feed off those guys too. They're just as important. So we try to bounce things off one another and continue to learn and teach them, and also be open to learn from them.
Daniel Alvarez.
Thank you, Danny. Hey, Corey. Nice to talk with you, man. We've been talking to a couple of the younger guys, even young pitchers, and plenty of them say that they look up to you as a guy to look for in terms of game preparation and also being a leader in the clubhouse. So how much you're embracing that kind of a role of being one of the veteran guys and maybe taking guys under your wing?
I love it. I'm still read books, and I do things to, further, how can I make this another person better? Make them a better person, better human being in society, and just as a teammate, grow. And, I feel like everybody puts a box around our career and who we can be, what type of player we are. That's what we'll always be, but there's no such thing as a box. I feel like, I had a box on me my whole career, and I proved a lot of people wrong. Winning a Gold Glove, doing little things, extending my career, and feel like I'm still improving makes me realize there's no box, and being able to share that with those guys. And, when pitchers have questions, I want them to get how we think. They're up there playing the chess match in their head also when they're out there pitching. And, I just work with them through that, why they throw that in that situation, or, does that guy slug in that area? Will he hurt you in that area? Things like that. And they'll ask how their pitches are moving and stuff like that. It's just about, feedback and, being willing to, give that and be open to it and be available.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Steve One.
Corey, we're another year down the road in the Derek Jeter rebuild. What's your take on this team and its potential?
Yeah, man. I mean, Eric is just, I mean, he's a professional. You can tell the way, just by his career and the way he handles himself. And, you know, this team is put together with so much youth and, of course, and there's just so much talent. The arms are getting better every year, not only on this team, but every team. I mean, everybody's throwing harder. Everybody's, got more analytics, more knowledge. So the game is evolving, and we continue just got to keep evolving with it and going out there and competing. And at the end of the day, it's about winning. It don't matter if it's a rebuild, not a rebuild. At the beginning of the year, it's about winning. I hate losing, so the goal is to win every single game.
Jess Blaylock?
It's funny, Corey, I was actually going to ask you pretty much the same thing. For some reason, people on the outside looking in always seem to underestimate what this team is capable of, what this organization is capable of. So I'll go in a different direction and just ask you how much fun it is to play behind this young rotation that I think is going to be able to compete with every other rotation in the NL East. What's it like playing behind these young arms?
It's great because there's no soft spots. There's no 1 through 5 or even 1 through 7. And even if those guys get in trouble, we got another lone guy that's usually a starter coming in. I mean, it's just so deep, and you don't take the foot off the gas pedal any. And that's where it gets tough as a hitter. You got to face this guy. Like, you hope to get that break in that rotation or that break in the bullpen whenever you start pounding on runs. But our pitching has so much depth that it's none of the guys want to face, any of our arms. So it's fun to play behind them. A lot of them got good tempo. It's really easy to stay in tune to the game whenever the tempo is there. So it's been great, and I'm looking forward to it.
Christina?
Me again. Obviously, team success in 2020, making the playoffs. You had the big homer in the wild card series, but I'm sure maybe personally during the season, it's only 60 games, but it might not have been where you wanted. I guess how much were you looking forward to just turning the page for you? And then just what was your focus in the off season? What did you learn, I guess, if anything, from 2020?
Yeah, sure. I don't know if Jordan, I mean, when I talked to Jordan, were y'all on this or no?
No.
No? Okay. I dealt with a lot. I mean, there's no excuses. I mean, you go out there and perform. Everybody goes out there. You can name all the excuses you want, but, I'm a super competitive guy, and, I expect perfection. I search for it every single day. So, even if I hit 300, I probably still wouldn't have been okay with it. But I mean, my grandfather passed, my dad had cancer with his kidney, being without my family for the first time, no fans, whatnot. I mean, there's a lot that weighed on me. And I feel like I grew a lot mentally in the off season. Not being in between, I felt like I was trying to amp myself up to be at this, game ready level and being able to compete and hold myself to the standard. And then there's no fans kind of giving you that adrenaline or, holding you to that standard to make that play or stay into the game. If you're over, you're kind of in your head and you kind of get in this in-between state. And it's about, being just locked in, having a calm mind and knowing that what you're doing is right. And having that year behind me, knowing what it's like, being able to know these teammates of mine better that I can, man, they were so supportive of me last year. And they took me under their wing and really cared about me last year when I was going through difficult times. But also the end result was to win, and we made it to the playoffs. So, and to deliver in the playoffs like I did on that homer, that's what it's all about. That's when it really matters the most, and it's a team effort to get there. So I'm not going to sit here and say, my number should be this or that. I have high expectations for myself. I'm going to go out there and compete as hard as I can every single day. Nobody ever has to doubt that. And, That's all I can do. And I can look myself in the mirror with that.
I'm curious, for mentally, is there anything maybe you've picked up since then, like yoga or meditation, anything to maybe help you? Or just
I think not focusing on myself, being able to look to help others and serve others before myself. Being confident in what I'm doing, trusting the coaches, figuring out, what works best for me. And especially like the hitting coaches saying, or, Duncan and J Rowe and those guys saying, this is what's good with you, what works for you, and sticking with that. Don't be in between, just go for it. But most of all, just every day I show up, I look to, create the morale around the clubhouse and find a way to serve somebody. And I think doing that, there's a sense of reward to that. So I enjoy that.
Last one, Daniel Alvarez.
Yeah, thank you, Danny. Yeah, Christina kind of asked what I was going to mention, because sometimes we don't see and decide the mental part, and that it might be tough for you guys. So because as you mentioned, it's not an excuse, but it's certainly a factor. But can you hear me? You hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was telling that Christina kind of asked what I was going to mention, because sometimes here we don't see that mental part, and that you guys might be struggling with some things off the field, and that is certainly not an excuse, but it is a factor. So just how much that made you even stronger during the off season, to face 2021, knowing that it's going to be a longer season, and that maybe the responsibility is a little bit higher.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said earlier, people turn on the TV and expect us to be machines out there. We're at 100%, but usually when spring training starts, nobody is, and nobody is mentally and physically. But every day I enjoy the routine of getting myself to feel as good as possible, and also gelling with my teammates. But yeah, it's going to be a longer year, and that's why I try my best to focus on the present, the now, as much as possible. Whenever I want to take it in, like when I'm out there practicing, I don't want to think about when I'm hitting BP, is this, like if I'm not hitting a good BP, is this going to affect my performance? I'm already looking ahead. I try to stay right there, listen, remember spring training, enjoy the moments and the guys around me, the conversations we have, and staying in the moment like that. I mean, time will fly, and create memories and stuff like that. That's I think how we all get through it as a team.
Thank you, Corey. All the best.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Corey.
Thanks, Corey.